we are given the least opportunity, the least priority. We are just starting out. But that is the way. That time around we are going to have a big feast because Mindanao is one of the richest resources in the world. And you, our esteemed guests, are going to partake in it. This work we are rolling on, it is not the government sponsor at all. It is solely a private initiative. We are taking the load into our hand, but we will be working 24/7 to jumpstart everything in Mindanao. Besides being the Sultan of the Royal House of Lanao, most particularly Masyu, I am an elected mayor of the municipality of Tamparan, but I also see how private initiative go into action. Just a week ago, I and my team of experts drove all around the northeastern region of Mindanao to identify areas that need additional electric powers. I and my team of engineers who flew from Incheon, Korea, courtesy of the Hanshin Group of Hyundai, made the trip, and I was saddened by the gloomy appearance of the countryside. Its darkness approached while we were on the road. The report says that if nothing is done to the end of the year, Mindanao will have one ping shortage of 200 megawatts. Already many parts of the island is resuming their power supply. In Zamboanga, for example, they are scheduling a rotating brownout. Ladies and gentlemen, I am not making this up. I was joined in the trip by no less than the country manager of Hanshin Group, Ms. Mercy Santos. Please stand up for recognition. Thank you, Madam. Another observer who joined the caravan in the chair of Energy Board of the Philippine Chamber of Commerce, Mr. Felix Velasquez. Please stand up. Thank you. Another of my team is my confidant, Dr. Nasir Shariff. Dr. Shariff is a CP and had been with me since 2000. But in 2007, he had left for Middle East because a rich sheikh had pirated him with the lure of a better remuneration plus the use of Cisna jeep, while all I could offer him was an economy ticket on a regular flight. But I'm glad 2 months ago he back to the board of my team. Mr. Shariff, thank you very much. Now, I'd like to tell you something about my home province, about Lanao, particularly its lake and its environs. Everyone knows that about Lake Geneva in Switzerland, it's world famous. Now, one of our leaders, the late Ambassador Lindy Pangandaman, had been planning to see Lake Geneva because it was all the talk of his staff and the diplomats at his post in Jeddah, Saudi Arabia, in the 70s. So one time when he had freed himself from work, he took a vacation to Switzerland. Guess what? When he came back from vacation, he declared to everyone, Lake Geneva does not hold water to Lake Lanao in terms of beauty and landscape. So ladies and gentlemen, when you have that time, try to visit our place. We have many places yet to be charted by National Geographic. See it first before they show it on TV. Because time is a constraint, I need not bore you with the many natural deposits of our land in Mindanao. So pleased to say that right now, we are only scratching the surface and gaining traction. That's why we are inviting all investments and technologies to come in to accelerate the pace of our development. This cannot be put a win-win solution for everyone. Be among the pioneers in putting Mindanao along the path to the 21st century. Lately, we have been judged by the news about the comprehensive agreement of the Bangsamoro, better known as CAP. For the benefit of our foreign guests in the summit, this is the latest peace agreement signed between the rebels and the government. Everyone is agum about it. It is supposed to be the be-all and in-all solution. On the get-go, I like it made clear to everyone that I am all for peace in whatever form it may take, but I beg to disagree with those who cling to the idea that there should be a total peace first before any true economic development can take place. Otherwise, it's become a chicken or egg proposition. This is the stand of many developers who take a studied avoidance of investing in Mindanao. Since the signing of the Tripoli Agreement in 1973, we have been swamped with tons of documents in the name of the so-called peace agreement. And the sheer weight of these papers only managed to stop us dead on our track more than they serve us. What I believe is that peace and economy should always go hand in hand. It's a sort of balancing act, and that's an everyday fact of life. The more the economic well-being of a place is enhanced, the more peace gain a foothold in the region. It is on the vein that we are inviting investors to pour financing on Mindanao and technology companies to establish themselves in the area. There is a wide latitude of all businesses, whether mining, merchandising, shipping, airline, restaurant, shopping mall, agro-industrial, fisheries, manufacturing, education, or eco-tourism. My staff have distributed flyers about my constituency. At the back, you will find our phone numbers and emails, address. Do feel free to contact us while you are still in our country. If you want to have a round of talks with us in our current works and proposal, please don't hesitate to ask. We are more than glad to oblige. In closing again, I'd like to thank everyone, especially our foreign participants, to this summit for attending, and especially to His Royal Highness Shariff Ibrahim Albani for putting up this splendid summit. Thank you very much. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
And I am proud to say, especially among my peers, that I was a disreputable, crazy journalist enough to cover the Baghdad War as the only Filipino journalist who was covering the war on the Iraqi side. Mr. Shariff Albani here is a bosom friend, and I think it is out of that bias that he asked me to speak before you. So let me try my best to reach out to as many of our audience as possible on my account of events as a journalist. I can see and I can conclude that the problem of Mindanao is purely economics. And this is the right forum, this is the venue where weapons for alleviation from poverty and terrorism can be found. Business, after all, is the best weapon and the best solution. While it is also the curse in some other countries, like in Iraq, I would say that the curse that befell in Iraq was also caused by business. It is greed out of some other big businessmen who up to now have been utilizing the fictional weapons of mass destruction in order to justify such genocidal war that we all have seen, and yet we are all ashamed to react to. And it is really very frustrating sometimes that we allow things like this to happen without a whimper of protest, without even a note that you can come across in the internet condemning that inhuman action of war just because of that alleged weapons of mass destruction. But don't get me wrong, up to now, nobody has seen the weapons of mass destruction, but I, as a Filipino journalist, have seen it. I've seen the weapons of mass destruction with my own two eyes in Baghdad. I saw them falling from American planes down to the people of Baghdad. Those are the weapons of mass destruction, and I know that you have seen it too. In this forum, I would want to believe that there is now an opportunity for you to use a weapon of love, a weapon of business, a weapon of alleviation, a weapon where you can practically express your concern to humanity by investing at the same time making a profit. This is what this forum is all about. This is what this summit is all about. And this is what I came here for, to pay tribute to all of you who came here in order to extend your hand to this alleviation, to this. The greatest terror, after all, in the Philippines is the terrorism of poverty, the terrorism of a few, the terrorism being perpetuated by the king of pork barrel, the terrorism of injustice where powerful men cannot be jailed unless they are air-conditioned jails and unless they have a high-priced lawyer to delay their incarceration. Some people would say, spare the former Senate President because he is too old. Nobody has thought that he was never too old to commit a crime. Nobody has ever thought that nobody is too old to plunder the country dry. Nobody has ever told him or told us that he used that weapon of monopoly in business to impoverize the majority of our country. But we have a weapon now. A weapon of summit like this, where each and every one of you may want to express their opposition to monopoly, their opposition to terrorism of poverty, their opposition to a continuous injustice in the field of business and the field of justice. For that, I salute each and every one of you here, as I salute my friend Ibrahim Albani. Magandang araw po sa inyong lahat. Allahu Akbar!
Because a gentleman by the name of Shariff came to the Philippines, southern Philippines, in 1380, before anybody else came. At the time, all parts of the Philippines were, uncivilized, ignorant. It was Magdum who laid the ground for the coming of Islam in the Philippines, only to be followed by the Spaniards in 1521. So at that time, my friends, we have already a civilized population, a government with the Sultan of Sulu as heading it, governing Mindanao and Sulu. When the Spanish came, for whatever reason, instead of trying to establish peace among us, tried to deprive some of us of our liberties by fighting us. So our ancestors, Sulu, Cotabato, Tawi-Tawi, had to fight for the independence and for the religion. On the other hand, if you were a Christian, somebody were to go to your area and deprive your religion, I think you are going to fight to the death in defense of your civilization, defense of that was happening in the Philippines. Second, I also concur with the previous speakers that the best part and the richest part of the Philippines is Mindanao. As a Navy commander, the martial law, I found out part of trips in Cancun, Pantugang, these areas full of gold underneath the earth. I saw some citizens who were trying to dip their hands in the earth. And they were getting gold by the pounds. Because they cannot go deeper for lack of scientific technique to open the ground. And between our province with Shariff, Ibrahim, Sulu and Borneo, there are deposits of oil. So I dare say that the richest part of the Philippines is Mindanao and Sulu. That much I know. When I was a student in the rest of the Philippines for 8 years, taking my AB in Political Science and my Bachelor of Laws, I've researched and I found out to the best of my ability that this is the real story of Mindanao. My brother, Ibrahim Shariff, I'm very, very proud and happy that you brought to this forum a crowd, a distinguished crowd, who one day can perhaps help develop Mindanao economically. Because there's no political problem in Mindanao. The problem is poverty. Poverty. And one day, hope and pray that through your help, we will recover sickness of poverty and will be equal with each and every Filipino in the Philippines. Now I'll go to the main topic, why I'm here. Martial law was declared September 1972 by President Marcos. The following year, 1973, President Marcos invited Bishop Sin of the Catholic faith to the palace. To make a long story short, both gentlemen agreed to put all religions under one house, namely Catholic, Iglesia ni Cristo, Protestant, and Islam, our religion. So, from that time up to now, we are now 41 years old. My brother, Ibrahim Shariff, of the origin, I'm the only one who survived in this group. I've been chairman for 3 times, during Cory's time, Macaparo's time, and this time. And because before that, each and every one do not know each other's religion. So there was a lot of confusion in the Philippines. If you're a Filipino Muslim, as if you're not a Filipino, and vice versa. But during this time, up to now, all major religions know each other's existence and identity. That's what happened 70 up to now. And therefore, for example, a priest was arrested now at the back of the Veterans Memorial Hospital. All of us, to the initiative of Bishop C. Catholic, convened and adopted a resolution. And the following day, that priest, Catholic priest, was released by President Marcos to Defense Secretary Juan Enrile. One day, 1975, a Navy ship, of which I belong, I say, not Captain Navy now, was trying to anchor Southern Philippines, Sulu, where we come from. For whatever reason, as the ship was going to approach the pier, some men of Missouri, MLF, went across in a parao and took shots and wounded some officers and men of the Navy ship. This time I was a DA, or Fiscal for Justice, initiated the convening of the interfaith. To make a long story short, that captain was court-martial and dismissed at the height of martial law. And one time, during the time of Cory Aquino, when he took the, he became President of the Republic of the Philippines, again, I took my oath before her, and there was confusion after President Marcos left. And because of that, we invited as a group international and domestic experts on this political problem that we have. To make a story short, I was chairman. I asked the bishop to read a resolution for the grant of amnesty to all the men of Nasan and Lim. This was not acted right away, but later on, that move became a reality. And therefore that is problems of politics among the members of the Philippines. And these were the very people who put Cory in power, headed by then Defense Secretary Enrile. And subsequently, when Macapagal became president, we noticed there's a lot of problems coming from the drug addicts. We have experts again, international, domestic, to tell what is the drug situation. Can you imagine, during the time of President Ramos, there were 500,000 drug abusers. But when President Erap Estrada became president, it became 3.5 million. As a matter of fact, my daughter, some of us were victims of these drug abusers. So when I took my oath, as usual, before the president, and brought this up, President Macapagal Arroyo stood up in this room and uttered, "My dear bishops, as of today, I hereby appropriate 1 billion anti-drug money." At this time, there were a lot of laboratories that were discovered, and drug abuse went down. So if I take my oath this time next month before President Nonoy Aquino, the son of Cory Aquino, I will remind him if he still has that money, if not, replenish it. Maybe more than 1 billion. So as NICOM, we have survived 41 years ago. We were known initially CMLC, Church Military Liaison Committee. And when Cory became president, the name was changed to NECOM, National Interfaith Ecumenical Resort Committee. Now it was then changed to NICCOM, National Interfaith Resort Committee. And in 1975, I was the youngest member of this group. I took a trip to Basilan in the company of Lieutenant Colonel Eduardo Vida to Basilan, and I was able to successfully surrender 1,000 armed MLF rebels. First thing that happened in this country, there was a lot of Shariff, Ibrahim knows about this. Leaders of the group were brought to the palace where a peace accord was agreed upon. That was 1975, October. And again, when I was with the Air Force of the Navy commander, out of this group, some went to the Navy for training to become officers and soldiers. And at one time, there was a problem. There was supposed to be a rebellion right in the Navy compound in Cavite. The people to agree for peace and save lives. Otherwise, if nothing could be done, they would shoot. And we heard people living in Cavite. There could have been a lot of casualties there, for which the government gave me a distinguished award, Bronze Cross of that of the Philippines. This is part of my effort as part of the NECOM. Because every piece of trust, praying for myself every time I do this job for my country. And today, there's a lot of problems in my country. But even Shariff knows this. Then and there, people are dying in Mindanao for lack of resources to pay for hospitals and so on. This time, my brothers and sisters Filipinos will be taking an oath before President Nonoy Aquino. And therefore, all bishops agree that the health problem of the Filipinos must be taken it off as soon as possible. So we are going to recommend to the President, when we take an oath of office, for him to certify Congress of the Philippines. Initially, as I said, we were only 4 religious groups. Catholic, Protestant, Iglesia, Islam. When a Catholic became German, Protestant, nobody was invited. Lucky or sadly to say, when I became German first time, I'm invited to Popolari of Italy, followed by the Shaddai, Jesus Lord, the North Korea, the Mormons, and other religions. They are not part of this group. It's really a national group composed of everybody who believe in God in the Philippines. Because I believe, Sister Princess, when you are a woman and you believe in God Allah, you must be a brave woman. My brother, when you're Filipino, you must be a good Filipino. So we believe as Muslims, for as long as you believe in Allah, God, you must be a good woman. And beloved ladies and gentlemen, I hope and pray that the Philippines once more will become a progressive, politically, economically prepared country in the world. Thank you, Maraming Salamat.
I would like to welcome you again to the first International Business Summit on Mindanao. Let's make this day a cheerful day, sir.
Yes, this is an important aspect of our summit today because this is the best opportunity where we can exchange ideas, and we must all remember that there are no wrong nor right questions. In other words,
Correct, sir.
don't be shy to ask questions because it is only by asking that we learn more. So, with the basic house rules, number one, each person is entitled to a main question and, if necessary, to a follow-up question. And please try to do your best to make your questions as precise and relevant to the topic that you would like to address.
Okay, so we'll start entertaining questions. Okay? Sir, please introduce yourself first.
I am from Zamboanga City, chairman of the Zamboanga Department Traders, which is the legitimate traders in Zamboanga City, as well as in arm of the Muslims of Mindanao. Now, my name is Shaykh Ustaz Atul Karim Naitiyah. I'd like to recall what our Highness Sultan Shariff Ibrahim Albani said a while ago during his opening remarks. Now, I follow up his history as what he has summarized for us. To support of that history, as what he said in the 11th century, under Majapahit Empire, solo sultanate was established, and besides, we have to read the book, The First Civilization in Pacific Ocean. In other words, the first government in Asia is the solo sultanate. Followed when Shariff Makhdum came in 13th century, the Islam religion introduced. So the Islam, the Bible, Quran, incorporated to the sultanate government. So by the time, we still considered when Spanish came 15th century, when they look upon our form of culture similar to the Morocco, so they call us Moros. So by that, the generation, we consider ourselves as a Bangsamoro nation. From the sultanate, but the inhabitant considered the whole Mindanao as Bangsamoro. I think, now currently, the government recognized the Bangsamoro identity, not the Filipinos. Why? You recall, when Magellan died back then in 15th century, 1521, battle with the commander, Lapu-Lapu. Now, in our digging history, who is Lapu-Lapu? It is our grandfather. He said, this Lapu-Lapu, they call this Panglima Elite. Now, right what our chairman of the Unity for Revival Federation Company said, there is only one unity, one government. So, here in Mindanao, peaceful under Sultanate of brothers and cousins. So, Mindanao very peaceful and unconquerable. Still will remain as Bangsamoro. So, Bangsamoro isn't, it is a very history. Because why the Filipinos are terminated by King Philip III? And that was the order of the King Philip to Christianize and change the name and to make the identity Filipino. That's up to now we don't agree as a Filipino. Because the unconquered people in Bangsamoro, in which the Philippine government, even in 1996, under an agreed peace agreement with the government, still recognized the Bangsamoro people. So along this, as what our speaker, Sultan Shariff Ibrahim Albani saying, of all these previous speakers I heard, it is very sad to say, your opportunity, your willingness to put investment in our region, but the existing conflict between the military and the separatists, I doubt if we could pursue. However, to make a legacy in this forum, because the first international peace summit of Mindanao, it has a concrete resolution adoption. To effect, it's become our input to it. First, we have to ask the parties concerned who are engaged in conflict, especially in the previous agreement entered by Philippine government and other sectors of the separatists. In 1976, OIC Triple Agreement, illegal. First Lady President President Marcos Goldman to give or a creation of 13 provinces and 5 cities to the Moro National Liberation Front. But it burned because subject to a constitutional process. So the plebiscite come in, but only few provinces and cities is there. They followed 1996 agreement between the MNLF and the Philippine government. What happened? Others, according to the German, Professor Shariff, the second peace agreement not yet implemented. Then here come. On March, the Philippine government entered Moro National Liberation Front peace agreement. You see? So if you think, if you analyze, you, our good friend, who are concerned with life of the Bangsamoro people in Mindanao, we are sad to note, because of course you businessmen, we have to protect your investment and assure of the safety of your people. So along this, we will adopt a resolution addressed to the Philippine government. First, they have to recognize equally of 3 agreements. The Tripoli Peace Agreement, the 1996 Peace Agreement government, and the current agreement.
The message of my brother is well taken and well noted, but I want to know what kind of question do you want me to explain. I want a specific question so that I can specifically explain to the whole party.
Thank you, Your Highness. The first factor that we need, 2 factions, the separatist faction, to come together to discuss a provision, what the MNLF will do. Okay? Then what? The government. It is what they call transparency. Why? We are the stakeholder. We are the sufferers. Bakit ito ay constitution? So, my point is, let us ask the government through our resolution, as far as the peace agreement from Tripoli 1976 Libya, the MNLF peace agreement, the government 1996, and the current the Moro Islamic Liberation Agreement should be equally implemented. So as there will be stability in Mindanao, because they are factions. Pag Tagalog ako, anak natin, hindi pareho ang gulo. Same. So we are like children of the government. So let the government know this. They should not anepe. Huwag lang pabayaan mo. They should not maybe. It's very important. So thank you very much.
And thank you very much, sir, for your thoughts. Wisdom again.
This is my personal view. The government, they have been trying their very, very best to support the Muslims. We have support in 1976 Tripoli Agreement in Libya, but unfortunately the Tripoli Agreement was backed down. And we have the 1996 agreement, which is the peace accord agreement, and also Bogdan. And the other peace agreement, which is the MOAD. And then this is the last agreement in town. For me, you can read between the lines as a Muslim and Christian what is happening in our country. So for me, since there is always a bolt down of agreement, we have to do something. We will not wait to the government to help us. Being as a Muslim or Christian in the ground, indigenous people, do not think the government that should help us or help the Mindanao. We have to do something outside the box. We must stand united into one, regardless of religion, color, tribe, race. We have to help our own in support to the government. We have to help our own people, educate our people, stand united. And we believe, God said, unity is treasure, unity is command, unity is power. Unity is a commandable act. When the people are united into one, the treasure will run after us. And the government, definitely, they will have a golden heart and golden mind dedicatedly to solve the Mindanao problem. Because when we talk about problem, you can read between the lines. We have been in the agreement. Ang Tripoli Agreement hindi na pwede sapawan, kumbaga man sa ano. Pero mayroon pang pagkakamali, hindi pa rin natupad. But we will pray. I will appeal to the President of the Republic of the Philippines, to the Congress, to the upper house, which is the Senate, to the Muslim brother. Let's pray together. Stand united into one. Because look, we are attacking the government, but the Muslims are disunited. So, nakikita tayo, we are weak. We are attacking the government, but the indigenous people are disunited. We are attacking the government, but the Mindanao Christians are disunited. We are here. As a chairman of the Unity for Revival Foundation, and my Excellency, the President of World Philosophical Forum, I am appealing to each and every one. وَتَسِمُوا بِحَبْلِ اللَّهِ جَمِيعًا وَلَا تَفَرَّقُوا. Hold fast the rope of God and let us speak. Because unity is the most power. Thank you, Lord.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Well said. Well said.
Okay.
Senator Morales, a businesswoman, most interested to do business in Mindanao. I've been to Mindanao for almost 5 years, from Surigao to Jensen. This is one question I would like to address to our chairman. Maybe we ask, what is your program of investment as far as the way you project to change Mindanao? Timetables, or how would you manage the investors aligned at present right now? What is our first course of action?
In behalf of the investor, my colleague here, our plans, we will establish a massive plantation more on agriculture. Okay? That's the reason why we invite the stakeholder, the indigenous people here, to present their lands. And I believe, based on the international business chambers of commerce, that these people, in terms of investment, they have no capacity to issue any guarantee. Because these people, we understand already, the only last resort of their asset, which is the land. So, we have already a program with them, a mechanism. We will use CI Exponential as one of the front line in terms of profitable business entity. We'll discuss with them, and whatever security guarantee that the investor needs from Mindanao, of course 100% of the Mindanao people, especially the indigenous people, has no capacity to issue in the form of guarantee. Because bear in mind, in my own experience, no investor in this world that they will just farm in or infuse their funds to Mindanao without any security. Security of their funds, security of the manpower, security of their technology. In all